Welcome back to your mat. Today's practice is short and sweet with an emphasis on building strength and improving mobility of the hips. You'll want to have 2 blocks for today's practice, and you can place them up toward the front of your mat. When you're ready, we're going to get started in a seated position facing the front of the mat. So find your easy seat, crossing one shin in front of the other, or any other comfortable seat. Let the hands rest in the lap as you sit up tall and soften the eyes. We'll begin by taking 3 breaths together. First, we exhale, then breathe in through the nose, open the mouth, breathe in, breathe out. One more time, sigh it out. And close the mouth. Keeping the eyes closed, turn the hands down against the shins. Tuck your chin towards your chest as you exhale and round through the spine, finding a seated cat position. And as you inhale, draw your heart forward, lift your chin. Exhale to round. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale. Inhale. One more time. Stay here as you inhale, chest is lifting. Blink your eyes open, release the hands up toward the ceiling. And then cactus the arms, lift the heart. Drag the elbows down toward your hip points. And plant the hands behind you. Send the legs out long and separate the feet about as wide as your mat, bending the knees. We're going to let the legs sway left and right. As we do so, we're going to keep the hips grounded. So what happens oftentimes is when we let the legs sway left and right, we really want them to reach the ground. And that's just a desire that we want, not required for the movement. And so in order to get the legs to touch the ground, we have to lift a hip off the ground and let the sits bone leave the ground. So we're not doing that today, but we're keeping the sits bones grounded. And that just means that your legs probably aren't going to touch the ground, and that's okay. And pause in the center. Send the left leg long, draw the right leg in towards you, and cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Slide left heel in closer, finding a figure 4. You can let the legs sway left and right a couple times. And pause in the center. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, press into your hands, press into your left foot, lift your hips off the ground. Pressing your hips up toward the ceiling, chest lifting out of the shoulders. Lower down. Let the legs fall to the left so the sole of right foot plants to the ground. Sit up as you reach the arms up high. Breathe in. As you breathe out, twist to the right. Open the arms and then let them land wherever feels supportive. Stay here for another inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, we're going to turn to the left, plant the hands, malasana, yogi squat. So your left foot is on the mat and your right foot off the mat. Hands to the heart. Breathe in. As you breathe out, rise to stand. Reach the arms up. Inhale, sink back down to yogi squat. Exhale, rise up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, rise. One more round. Inhale, lower. Exhale, rise. Stay here. Wiggle fingers. Lift the heels. And lower back down to your yogi squat. Sink down low. Crawl your hands toward the back of your mat, which is the new top of your mat. The right leg sweeps up high, 3-legged dog. Bend the right knee, make some circles around right hip socket. Just 2 or 3 big circles in one direction, and then reverse.
Then reach right leg high, lift high onto left toes. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, knee to the nose one time. Shift forward. Inhale, three-legged. As you exhale, runner's lunge. The right foot steps forward. Dip your hips low. Then rise to high crescent, upright the torso. Reach your arms up. Breathing here. Bring your hands to the heart. Start to turn to your left, finding Skandasana, side lunge. Bending into the right knee, let the left toes point up toward the ceiling. And then we're going to switch sides. So we're staying in a high Skandasana this time as we move side to side. And then to the left foot, lizard lunge. Both hands down inside of the left foot. Shift forward and back. And pausing here, look at your left foot. We're going to step our left foot about halfway down the mat. And then turn all 10 toes to the left. So we're preparing for horizons pose, Vishnu's couch. Look up toward your left hand and then start to reach your left hand toward your right foot, lowering your hips toward the ground. And then lift back up. Lower down. Lift up. One more. Lift up. Stay here. And then lower down all the way till your right hip reaches the ground and you step that left foot behind you. One more time, we lift up, this time finding our wild thing. Open up, look for your left fingers. High plank. Shift forward in your high plank. Option to lower to your knees. So we find chaturanga, bend your elbows straight back. Cobra or up dog, heart forward. Downward facing dog, exhale, hips high. Paddle your downward facing dog. Then pause. Inhale, lift both heels high. Tiptoe your way, feet to hands. We're going to have a seat on our mat. Leaning back on the hands. Send the right leg long. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh for our figure four. Slide right heel in closer. Let the legs sway left and right. Pause in the center. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lift your hips off the floor. Find your reverse tabletop. Lower yourself down. Let the legs fall to the right so the sole of left foot plants to the ground. Sit up tall as you reach both arms up. Breathe in. As you breathe out, take a twist to the left. One more inhale here. One more exhale. On your next inhale, turn to the right. Plant your hands, Malasana Yogi squat. This time, your right foot is on your mat and your left foot is off the mat. Bring the hands to the heart. Take an inhale here, and then as you exhale, rise up to stand. Reach the arms up, lift the heels. Lower the heels, sink back down to your yogi squat. Two more like that. Exhale, lifts you up to stand. Lift the heels. Lower back down. One more time. Rise up. Reach up, lift the heels, wiggle the fingers. Lower the heels, sink back down. Crawl your hands toward the back of your mat. Three-legged dog, left leg sweeps up. Then the left knee, and then make those big circles around left hip socket. Both directions. Then reach the left leg high, lift high onto right toes as you breathe in. As you breathe out, knee to the nose one time. Inhale, three-legged. Exhale, runner's lunge through. Rise to high crescent. Reach the arms up. Bring the hands to the heart. Start to turn to the right, Skandasana, side to side. And so maybe you return to that high Skandasana, just like we did on the first side or the first round, or you can go a little lower this time. Maybe seeing how low you can go. Option to use the hands or not. Just try to keep the hips low in the transition. This is one of my favorite moves for tight hips. This really works well to strengthen. Next time we're to the right leg, lizard lunge, both hands inside of the right foot. Shift forward and back. Then look at your right foot. We're going to step the right foot halfway down the mat. Start to turn all 10 toes to the right. Release the right arm up. Look at your right hand. Start to inhale as you lower the left hip toward the floor, reaching the right hand toward left foot. And then exhale, lifts the left hip away from the floor. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale, pause. Inhale, lower all the way to the ground. Step your right foot behind your left. Look up toward your right hand. Wild thing, lift the hips. Look back for your right fingers. Then look at your left hand, high plank. Shift forward, chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing. And inhale, lift the heels, ripple forward, high plank. We're going to lower all the way to the belly. And bring the hands down for a little pillow for the forehead. Shake the hips left and right. And then we're going to move into a half frog. The right leg will move out to the side in kind of a lowercase H type shape. I'm going to turn to face the camera just so you can see how the leg is out to the side. And maybe another angle so you can see. So we want the leg, the femur bone perpendicular to the body out to the side if possible, and then directly from the knee down to the ankle, and then a dorsiflexion in the foot. And you can stay here with hands creating the pillow for the forehead, or if you'd like, you can lift on up to Sphinx pose, elbows underneath your shoulders, creating a little bit of a back bend. If you were lifted into your Sphinx, lower down onto your hand pillow, slide your right leg to meet the left. And then we're just going to switch the sides. So I'm going to return to my mat. You stay where you are. And we're going to slide the left leg out, finding that half frog shape, and just notice what's different about it. Check your setup. And then choose whether you want to rest the head on your hand pillow or if you want to create it more of a back bend action, finding Sphinx pose.
And lower yourself back down if you were lifted. Slide the left leg to meet the right. Give the hips a shake. And then roll onto your back body. So we're just rolling face up. And then reach for one of your blocks. We're going to place the block between the knees and lift the knees up over the hips. So we're stacked knees over hips, feet in a dorsiflexion as your knees squeeze the block. Maintain a squeeze of the block as you separate the feet away from each other. And just hold. And then bring them back to neutral. So 4 more times like that. We're going to squeeze the block, send the feet away from one another and hold it. And then we'll repeat. So 4 times. I'm going to turn just so you can see the action, but you can stay where you are. So start to squeeze your block. Take an inhale and then start to separate the feet as you maintain the squeeze. Hold it right here for 5, 4. It'll be shaky. 3, 2. Find neutral. Good job. Just breathe for a moment right here. Now start to squeeze the block with the knees. Separate the feet. Keep squeezing the block a little bit tighter. Let it be shaky for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return to neutral. You can rotate the ankles, give your legs a little shake. Last 2 rounds of this. Start to squeeze the block. Separate the feet, reaching your pinky toes away from each other. Squeeze the block, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Neutral. Little shake. Little movement of the ankles. And then our last round. Squeeze the block. Reach the pinky toes away from each other. Squeeze the block even harder. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return to neutral. Remove the block. Set it to the side. Plant your feet to the floor and let your knees sway left and right. It's okay if the hips lift off the ground as you sway. And pause in the center. Reach for both of your blocks. Setting up for butterfly pose, reclined butterfly. We're going to wedge the blocks underneath the thighs. But first we'll bring the soles of the feet together and let the legs open up. And we're going to place the blocks underneath the thighs for support in this butterfly. And once your blocks are placed, bring one hand to the belly, one to the heart. Or you can place the hands on hip creases or wherever else feels good. And we just start to return to our own breath. See what you can soften. Then you can choose to remain as you are. Or if you would like to finish up class with me, you can start to remove the blocks from underneath the legs and set them to the side. Draw the knees into the chest and roll to the right, finding a fetal pose. And then when you're ready, you can press yourself up to a seat. Finding easy seat once again, maybe facing the side of your mat or any direction. The eyes still soft or closed. And start to roll the shoulders up toward the ears. And then back and down. Twice more. Last time. And let the hands rest in your lap. Then blink the eyes open. You did it. You made it. You're here till the end. Thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed today's practice and that your hips feel a little stronger and maybe a little more mobile. If you enjoyed today's practice, I would really appreciate it if you left me a comment or hit that like button. I know that's so cringy to say, but that really helps people to see the videos and find the videos. And hopefully they'll enjoy the practice too. But I appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you again soon.